Rainbows Mandala Week. So today we're going to do a quick assemblage mandala. So this is the base that I painted at the very first class. I believe that's about a week ago. And if you want to revisit it, you can. So it's obviously nice and dry. I've got a couple of punch outs. I've got a butterfly one I've had for many years and a star one. You may have multiples or different sizes or different shapes. You can also use household items to create shapes to assemble for your mandala. So you could use things like cups, lids, bowls. Sky's the limit. You could even use cookie cutters to trace different shapes onto different colored paper. I ended up going with quite a few of poster paper where you get from the paint swatch store. Somebody was getting rid of them, so I had a bunch of those because I like the solid color. I also used quite a significant amount of discarded art from my own stash. So my onus with this class today, we've done a lot of permanent mandalas. We've made some with stencils and watercolor. We've done them in digital where we can print them out, put them on fabric or merchandise or products and such like that. We are going to look at the idea of, say, incorporating in your daily art practice, creating a mandala, taking it down and putting it away, and maybe taking a picture if you really want to sort of track your progress. But ultimately, if we're taking our inspiration from the Tibetan monks, you would create the mandala with the focus and inner calm and present sort of attitude. A state of gratitude is always, useful to have if you're struggling to kind of, what kind of headspace do I want to get into when I make a mandala? Sometimes we can be overthinking or overstimulated or dysregulated, and we just need a process to come to a focus on. So mandala making is great for that, and assemblage mandala doesn't have to be permanent, so you don't have to suddenly have a space for it. It's great to use up old art, which can definitely become sort of a psychological hang-up if you're creating and you're feeling like things aren't selling, or you're not gifting enough, or you just don't have enough people who like your stuff, or you don't like it anymore and you don't want to give it away. Reuse it. So this class is another fun way to reuse your art. Here I had done some Star Trek inspired art a couple of years ago. This is the Starship Enterprise, but I really liked using the neon colors and stuff, so here I'm just going to create some fun punches in these colors to add to my stash. So I have a large Ziploc bag going where I'm just adding shapes to a pile. Because it's assemblage and takedown, I don't have to worry about keeping things a certain way. I can just add shapes as I go, and then every time I sit down I can use different shapes, create a different vibe, and that's the fun part of it, and that is a great thing to do. One of the things that's most common with art is not finishing what you start, right? We've seen all the reels, we've seen all the videos, so practice something that's creative, mandala making, which can resonate culturally. Obviously we went through 3 different classes this week, and that's just me. If you all get into Google, you're going to have a wealth of things to look through to inspire you on your own mandala making journey. But making them gives you an opportunity to focus, create something in beauty, and finish it, and then take it down and let it go and not feel attached to it. And that is something that's important to establish in your thinking pattern, in your headspace, especially in regards to your art and creative process. There's a lot of programming out there that counteracts that wants you to be non-self-reliant, reliant on systems, reliant on other people's ideas and input. And they're not necessarily artists. They may just be marketing, or they just may have an idea, right? So this whole artist oracle and running with rainbows is to help you listen to yourself. So I hope that does that for you. So here I'm just going to assemble. So the idea with a mandala is radial symmetry. So the only thing I can suggest as you build your mandala that I would feel recommending is to work with symmetry. If you put something above, put something below. If you put something on the left, put something on the right. You can also use asymmetry as a form of balance and harmony as well, so you don't have to get caught up in making it perfectly perfect. None of this is going to be straight. I'm not using a ruler. The idea is to just lay it out. So I remember as a kid as well watching my great aunts when they would come into Manitoba from British Columbia, my grandfather's sisters. They were a hoot, and they would play cards. And I'm a texture girl, I'm an artist. I loved watching their fingers. I loved listening to the sound of putting down cards or shuffling cards, kind of the snap sound that comes with a shuffled deck. And kids love watching it, and I loved watching it get shuffled. But this also, so it satisfies that need to touch something and to put it down. And for me, that's a wonderful sensory allowance. So, and that might be so for you, just being able to feel like you're doing something competent and very decisive, and I'm putting this here to bring balance. I mean, you may think it's a small thing, but if you're not coming across self-generated opportunities in your day-to-day narrative where you are reinforcing your own self-worth to yourself, and that can be hard to do through affirmations. They feel disingenuine, you feel weird. So doing it through art sort of takes that pressure off of like having to consciously guide yourself towards thinking a different way. And it just comes through the practice, right? So, and that's honestly one of the most fast ways to learn things is by doing. So get yourself some shapes, use old art. If you don't want to use old art and you're a scrapbooker, absolutely. If you have a die cutting machine or a Cricut or circuit cutter or whatever they're called, use it. You can totally use a machine to cut. I will say that I used a lot of these at a place where I can make letters because I thought it'd be fun to have more than just circles. So, and I couldn't find, I have them at, when I do Running with Rainbows here in Oakbank, I do them at a place called The Space, and I have a big bag of Ziploc shapes there, and I actually borrowed shapes from one of the teachers I assist at school, and created hexagons, triangles, squares, rectangles, and circles. So that's a lot of fun to create mosaics or mandalas with that as well. Again, it's just a way for me to also reduce the amount of art that's just sitting around. I like to create. I don't like to feel that I have too much though. So, and again, the joy with this is you're not gluing anything down. Nothing is forever. So you can explore, you know, what does this look like? Oh, well, I didn't like it. Okay, well, oh well, right? It's also making mistakes or exploring your thinking and finding that that avenue doesn't meet what your expectations were, backtracking and trying a new avenue without the pressure of this decision having a huge impact on anything. It's just a mandala. It's just your daily practice. And I think, you know, if you were to do it, say, every day for a month or, once a month for a year, however you could feel drawn to it, I guess would be the better way to approach it. But through repetition, more avenues would open up within you, different dialogues, because you become familiar with the process. There'd be an energy and an anticipation for sitting down on a daily basis, for finding your breath, for loosening your shoulders, for unclenching your jaw, for relaxing your face, doing everything down to your toes. And just even if it's just 5 minutes of placing shapes in a beautiful pattern, it will go a long way. Anything I ever read over my 40 years of interest in intuition and how to, connect with your inner self, it's always been just do it. 5 minutes every day. Your body will get into the habit, your subconscious will pick up the programming, and you'll just enjoy that new opportunity to engage and see what comes from it. I can't tell you what it's going to look like. It looks different for everybody, but I know that it'll come with calm, breath, focus, joy, relaxation. It's not going to come and unsettle you, and that's the beautiful thing. So it was a lot of fun to use these and to just gently go through it. I have a few sped up ones at the end of the video in fast motion for your own reference, but I definitely encourage you to give this idea a shot and to try it for yourself. I've just given you one example, and the colors I may use may not be to your liking. You may think mandalas look a different way, and I absolutely encourage you to find paper and colors and create the shapes that you do want to explore through mandalas and to give it a try. I know I enjoyed it, and I will actually grow it and maintain it. I have some ambitions to do some large ones, and I really enjoy, as it turns out, putting the cards down on the table and then just putting them away. It's kind of like I feel I've made art, but without all of the paint and the cleanup and the grumpiness from the family, because why is there paint here, right? So you can make your art process as enjoyable as you want it to be. You are the artist, and I find if people think that it's hard for you to carve out time to create videos, if you're a professional artist and you're trying to show your work, or you're trying to be, navigate the algorithm on the internet, it's not easy. So you just have to do it when you can. You can't wait for all that perfect moment, perfect timing, perfect space, and I'll be in my perfect place. I have yet to experience that. So I am enjoying the reality of the process that is already going, and that is to do it and enjoy it and just follow that enjoyment, because that definitely leads to the things I want to experience in my life. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad I brought home the alphabet shapes, and I hope to cut some more out. It might be fun to just restrain myself to the letters LOVE, just for like, if all I'm going to do the mandalas, then like those straight parts that create the Non-circular element should just be love. That'd be a fun restriction to have. And then here I'm going to make the time to take it apart. That is also part of the process of accepting that nothing should last forever. Everything has a time and place. It's only been in the last few hundred years. I mean, modern man's been keeping history and tabs on things for quite a bit longer, but the average person didn't always have access to that wealth of knowledge. Nowadays, you can literally, by typing in a couple of words or saying a few things to your phone and having it listen, have all of these answers at your fingertips. So then that's not something to take for granted. So if you have that access to information, I hope you will use it to enrich your life and to foster a growth mindset of positive self-worth, so that you can allow for that in other people that you meet and engage with people in that mindset. The world's a very tight, sharp kind of place right now, so I feel like activities that allow us to unwind and to soften a little bit are definitely healthy to have. So yeah, there'll be another class coming for this week for the Mandala week, and then you guys will get a break from me. There's been a class as well for the Running with Rainbows membership program. Marisol, we did some pop art inspired dolls, so that is available for those members. If you're not a full paying member yet, you are eligible to take a 7-day free trial. It is in the Substack app. I believe if you try to upgrade your membership, it will allow you to access that. So if you can do a lot of art in 7 days, you'll have full access to all the existing classes available here at Running with Rainbows for only $7. But otherwise, thanks again for joining me today, friends. I look forward to getting that next video to you, and I am just going to play out the rest of this mandala building with some lovely music. I hope you have a lovely night.
All of the branches are budding new leaves. My neighbor's grandchild is begging him, please come outside. Our garden's creatures have come to greet us. I hear a robin eagerly singing her song. Have you ever heard a welcome so warm? And it sounds like, ooh, take a moment, ooh, breathe it in this air, and breathe out again, 'cause it all begins again. All of my worries like snow melt away, a balm for my spirit, only if just for a day. A kiss for I love you, a wink for me too. Winter was long, but the spring's a reminder of new. Have you ever cried for something so true? And it sounds like, ooh, take a moment, ooh, breathe it in this air, and breathe out again, 'cause it all, yeah, ooh, take a moment, ooh, breathe it in this air, and breathe out again, 'cause it all begins again. It all begins again. All of the branches are budding new leaves. My neighbor's grandchild is begging him, please come outside. Our garden's creatures have come to greet us. I hear a robin eagerly singing.